Okay, so I spent the better part of my morning this morning with a friend trying to find a way to best put together the steps for this Easter egg as efficiently as I possibly could to make it as easy for as many players to be able to crack it out often as possible. Because I think that this Easter egg in general had a lot that it could have done. One thing in particular that I find interesting about it is that each step of the Easter egg carries over consistently with every player that's currently in the lobby. So if Tom on team A picks up piece A, Tom on team B could then go put that piece down. I think that's a really interesting way to get everybody involved in the whole match in order to work towards a better end. That being said, a lot could have been done to make this more fun for everyone involved. To better illustrate my point, I'm going to try to make throughout this video, I'm going to really quickly show you the end of the Easter egg and what you get for completing it.
Shield.
I was trying to get into this.
We've taken the hard point. Hard point contested.
Can you put it down, even though I have it?
Yes.
Put it down. Once you have it, man, put it on the other things too.
Stand by to move. Enemy's got the hard point.
The payoff at the end is just too weak. Just to get it out of the way, because this video is going to be a bit longer than I originally anticipated, if you're trying to do the Easter egg yourself and you're stuck and you need steps or maybe a guide on where to find the mousetraps, I have most of the mousetraps discovered, and I'm going to put a link down below that you can click on to just hot shoot out to that part of the video. So I know we're on Modern Warfare now, but the original Modern Warfare was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It was my first ever online gaming experience back on the Xbox 360, and I sank way too many hours into it. I loved it. I played it with every friend I have still to this day. It's very near and dear to my heart. But it was a product of its time. And back then, you couldn't research secrets and Easter eggs and find things like you can now. YouTube hadn't really taken off. Reddit, for as far as I know, didn't even exist. There was no good search forum for something like this other than gaming magazines. The only Easter eggs that were prevalent in games at that time that I know of and that were consistent was like when a developer would put a picture of his kid in the game on a fridge somewhere, or like I remember in the original Modern Warfare on shipment, it would say MW on the shipment crates for Modern Warfare, and it was like a big thing. Almost all of the information you would get based on secrets or how to do an Easter egg or how to get outside the map or something along those lines, you would get from coworkers or people at school or even in-game lobbies. These sources were never great. It was always a friend of a friend of a friend did something, and you were just trying to pursue that as best as you could. One that stuck with me for all of my young life was that if you knifed 10,000 watermelons, you would get a golden knife that would follow you through your prestiges. This, of course, was absolutely not true, but that didn't stop me or any of my friends I knew who I told about it from knifing every watermelon every single match the entire time we played until we got on to a different Call of Duty game. My point in all of this is that if you give a person a reason to pursue a goal, no matter how difficult, if the reward outweighs the challenge, they're going to pursue it. And in this situation, on this Easter egg, that isn't what happened. So Modern Warfare, the current one, in my opinion, has completely lost its way as far as calling cards and emblems go. They used to be a crazy worthwhile status symbol. They would show you who to be afraid of and who's just in there to troll. If you joined in a lobby in Modern Warfare 2 and everybody had gold skulls that spun around and they were max prestige, you would just back out. It wasn't worth playing against somebody who had that high of a skill gap between you and them. And you knew you were going to lose. So why waste the time? It was intimidating, and it was a fun mechanic to be at that point to watch people be worried about you. You got in their heads before you even said anything. Now, they aren't persistent. They don't mean anything. If I do a challenge and I have a calling card, no one knows what it's for because you can't view it. Most people, at least in my group, just rock whatever's free from the store that day because it's a rarer thing than having the actual challenges. I have no idea how I unlock the calling cards I have in this game. I just have them. The only ones that stand out to me are the nuke ones and then the whatever it is that is in the battle pass that month. They had a real opportunity here to do something organic and cool by adding a card or an emblem for the completionist hunters out there who trogged through and finished the Easter egg. Like I said earlier, this is literally just a generic fetch quest, and the only twist to it is that it's randomized throughout the map in a nightmarish way. You shoot one at a time, and then another one spawns somewhere else randomly anywhere in the map. The thing that makes it simple and makes it possible to do during a game match is that all the players in the lobby share consistent progress. If Gary from Team A picks up the cheese, Ben from Team B can place it on to finish the Easter egg. It means that we can all work together, even if not on purpose, to earn a reward. Had this had any form of tangible payoff, anything at all, something that said, look at me, I did this, I completed it, we would see this going and completing every single round. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be a calling card or an emblem of a Pied Piper. It could be Captain Price gets an operator skin with a dumb hat to help drive sales. Something, just anything worth pursuing. So don't get me wrong. The Pied Piper story is incredible. It involves betrayal, revenge, in some cases, depending on which version you're reading, extortion, murder. It all wrapped up in a kid's book with a smile, like Snow White. Anybody who's ever done contract work and then not been paid for it after they completed it knows how to relate to it. It's just well done. Easter egg itself is a great centerpiece for this map. It brings it all together, it sets it in Germany, and it makes it interesting. My issue is, for how difficult it is, and for how time-consuming it is, it doesn't matter that it's cute, and that it's fun, and that it's enjoyable. What matters is that there should be some form of reward for players who go out of their way to complete it. I honestly think it's the only way to get the community as a whole to take an interest in completing it. Okay, so at this point, either you've skipped ahead to here, or you've decided that my complaining doesn't matter, and you're still interested in carrying on and doing it by yourself. I admire that. So if you look at the graphic on screen, I'm going to have these lined out for you here, but I'm going to elaborate on them a little bit more so that you know more clearly what you're doing. Step 1 is to find the 5 mouse traps. These mouse traps spawn all over the map in various places. I've got a general idea where about 90% of them spawn, and as you're watching this video, you'll see the person on screen running location to location, aiming at where they are, and then moving on to the next one. When you find a mousetrap, you shoot it, it then despawns, and another one spawns somewhere else randomly in one of these locations on the map. On the 5th mousetrap, step 2 starts. You shoot it, it despawns, and 25% of a cheese wheel spawns for whatever reason. You're going to take this cheese wheel, and you're going to go to one of the residences and or kitchens, and you're going to look for the rest of it. So the remaining 75% of the cheese wheel where your piece would fit. Upon collecting that, you race to the middle of the map where you'll see the event happen that I showed at the beginning of the video while I was talking over it. Essentially, the Pied Piper blows on his pipe, summons a bunch of rats to come around, and they all explode for your amusement. This Easter egg could have been incredible had there had a reward link to it. It's not difficult in the sense that it requires skill. It's difficult in the sense that it requires time and it requires communication. But it shouldn't. It shouldn't be hard at all. It should be that everyone's so excited and ready to learn about how to do it to earn a reward that they go out of their way to figure it out on their own, and then everybody does it consistently in every lobby. Right now, the map's set on a 24/7 map mode, so you can just run it and run it and run it and run it and run it. And I have never seen the Easter egg completed one time. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't be that way. I'm ecstatic that Call of Duty is bringing Easter eggs to the mainstream audience. I love that they're making it fun and exciting, and for someone who hasn't seen it and doesn't know what's going on, what a weird thing to run into. But there's no proof that you did it. You don't receive anything from it. You should get an emblem. You should get a weapon skin. You should get a weird hat. Something you can put on and say, hey, I went out of my way and I did something extra, and now you should too, because you don't have it. This whole Call of Duty game, since they got rid of paid loot boxes, has turned into a collect-a-thon grind-off. And that's awesome. I'm all about it. Big, huge fan of games where you can dump 1,000,000 hours into as long as you keep receiving worthwhile rewards. But Easter eggs should have special, weird rewards that are difficult to get and one-off experiences. Alright, if you guys liked today's video, feel free to leave a comment down below agreeing or disagreeing with me. If you're willing to help me out, try to appease the beast that is the YouTube algorithm, throw me a subscribe and a like, and I appreciate you being here. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.